So here are some of my best astrophotography images that I've taken with this old 75 to 300mm kit lens. Very good lens. And right now I'm going to show you guys some of those images. So let's jump on the computer and let's get right into it. Okay, so this is one of my more recent images with the Canon 75 to 300mm. I think actually my last photo I was going to take with it. And it doesn't look that bad, right? This was with a modified DSLR camera, and the nebula in here is not too vibrant, but it stands out, and I like all the stars. Like this, there's definitely some star color, but there's a lot of color fringing around these stars, that purple there, which can be removed in Photoshop, but I found that when you try to remove it, Photoshop can do some weird other stuff with your stars too, so I try to leave some of it in there, but sometimes when you zoomed out, it kind of makes the image look good. If you go to the corners of the image though, you can really see that like seagull-shaped stars, and definitely a lot of weird stuff going on even out here. But towards the middle, it's pretty good. Like the stars are sharp if you're focused, and if you reduce them in Photoshop, you can really get a respectable image with this lens, and that's what I'm trying to show with this video, is how actually respectable images you can get with a cheap kit lens like this. And since I retired it, I thought it would be perfect just kind of recap some of the photos. So that's the first image I'm going to show you guys of the North American nebula right here, and I'm happy with how this came out. Really actually happy. I do shoot usually at ISO 800 and f. Try to shoot the lowest f-stop with this lens, and what is that at? I don't know, it doesn't say. Something like f, with this probably f5, something like somewhere around there. So now we're going right into winter here. Let's go look at this one. Actually no, let's go to this one. So this is a cool one. So this is actually one of my first HA RGB composite images. It is the first. And as you can see, I had a little trouble with some processing around those the red halos around the stars. That's not natural, obviously. But I was happy with how the stars came out in the middle here. You can see there's some nice star color. That's real. That's those orange stars, the cooler ones, and then the blue stars. But I'm very happy with how this came out. And you can see how sharp the Rosette Nebula is here. Naturally, with this lens, you will never be able to get it that sharp. This is because I combined 12nm H-alpha data on top of this this other data here, the RGB shots, and it was able to bring out so much more H-alpha that I would never be able to pick up with this lens or get that much detail and color overall. But I'm very happy with this image came out. I'm still happy with how this came out. So yeah, it just shows what you can do with a lens like this. Now I want to show you guys what it looked like before the H-alpha. So it's drastic difference. Yeah, this is what it looks like before. So this is without any H-alpha added, and it's still pretty good if you ask me. But you can see the Rosette Nebula not nearly as sharp as it was on the other image. And yeah, you can see some really faint dust down here too, which is really cool. I forget, I remember I drove somewhere to capture the shot, but it wasn't that much data. I think like 4 hours, so 2 and 2. But now let's go to another one. Let's see. This one actually. So this one right here, this is like one of my other ones. This is actually shot at 300mm. And I don't recommend going 300mm on this lens, because you're obviously going to have some major star weirdness happening. But this is like cropped, like I don't know how much. This is a pretty massive crop, because first of all, the lens, stars in the corners are absolute garbage. And then second of all, when I was processing, there was some weird stuff that went on the other side, so I had to crop down to make the Rosette Nebula appear, like get all that weird stuff out of the frame. So I did a pretty good job with that. And as you can see, the stars are nowhere near perfect, but it's pretty good with kit lens, I would say. This is with H-alpha data obviously added. You can see some cool H-alpha even stretching up over here. Flame Nebula looks good. There's some nice detail in the Rosette Nebula there. And I was very happy with this image when I first came out with it. And it looks pretty good to me, right? For a beginner astrophotographer, this would be a pretty good image, I would say. Now the next one, I do have a lot more images with this lens, but these are my best, right? The other ones I shot were like tiny galaxies. Because I remember I purchased this lens in galaxy season, and I just captured dots of galaxies. I'll show you one of those at the end of the video. Now let's do this one. California Nebula. Yeah, so here's one of my images of California Nebula. And as you can see, the stars look unnaturally sharp. And this is because this is just HA data. This is no RGB data combined. Yeah, and it looks really awesome. Like, there's so much detail in the California Nebula that you can see here. And just, yeah, it looks really good. I felt like I shouldn't even combine any RGB with it because I was able to get that nice dark sky around with it. But I'll show you, this is what it looks like. The HA RGB composite looks like. And when I first came up with this image right here, I thought that this looked garbage for some reason. I don't know why, but now I come back to it and it doesn't look that bad actually. So yeah, this is combined HA and RGB. And in this image though, I did a better job combining the stars. Obviously, this is like a little later on where I had more experience with the process, and I haven't done an HA RGB composite in a long time, since the winter time. But this is stars aren't that bad, but I think I overdid noise reduction too much on this photo. I think I went a little too far in noise reduction, but it looks decent. You can definitely see the California Nebula standing out right in the middle of the frame there. And I'll show you guys what it looks like without any HA. Yeah, that's what it looks like without HA. So you kind of have to trust that HA data to bring up the quality of your image. You know what I mean with this lens? Yeah, that H-alpha filter really helped me capture nebula so much more detail. Okay, now let's go to, oh, this is interesting. This was a crop of the Rosette Nebula. Probably it's just the same image. Yeah, there's a crop. It looks kind of cool, right? If you said this was taken with a 300mm lens, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, you can definitely see the shape of the Rosette Nebula in there. I need to go after this target with my edge. I gotta do that this winter. Then we have, yeah, this is the last photo before I show you some of my older ones. The Rosette Nebula. So this was an interesting one. I haven't looked at this one in a while. So this is gonna be like first light. What do I think? Pretty decent, but nothing up to doesn't compare to my standards now. But this is pretty decent for. You have to understand where I'm capturing it with. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is good. Like you can even see some what are those called? Hubble variable? No, what are they called? Oh, there's a name for them. Totally forgot the name. Variables or oh, I forget the name for those. But there's a name for these, and they look really cool in this image. Look at that. You can see them there. Definitely see the Rosette Nebula. See some outer nebula. Yeah, this is another HA RGB composite like the rest of them, and it's very good looking. It's framed up nicely. Some nice dust over here. I think this is called the stem, if I'm right. I think that's called the stem. But yeah, this looks pretty good. And I remember this was actually like a hard target to find because with the Star Adventure. I think it took like an hour to find it the first time for some reason. I don't know why it took so long. But yeah, that was a difficult one to find. And yeah, I'll show you without the HA. Yeah, that's what it looks like without H-alpha. You can see, look at that. You can barely see those details in there. But when H-alpha really saves your image a lot. So I can't wait to try that out with my new Rokinon 135mm. That's why this lens is retired. Yeah, so I'll give you an example. This is like the Whirlpool Galaxy with the lens all the way at 300mm. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little bit helpful for you that I showed you some of my best astrophotography images I've taken with the Canon 75 300mm kit lens. And I've said it so many times, in my opinion, it's an awesome lens to start out astrophotography with as a beginner because it'll get you good results in the beginning. And it's just affordable, right? Beginners usually like affordable stuff. And I've used it for around 2 years and I've really enjoyed it. Eventually you'll grow out of it and move on to something more, but that's the fun because it's like you use this lens, you feel like you've got the best astrophotography images possible, and you move on to something more and see even better results. So it's a process, but I really think it's a great lens that you're starting out astrophotography with. So as always, hope you guys are experiencing clear skies. And one more thing before I leave. See this number right here? If you enjoyed the video, get this number to 500. Okay guys.